Hey Sunita, welcome to Just Like That.
Hi, Sahil. Thank you. It's so nice to be here, just like that. And well, it's always nice to chat, share, and meet you virtually.
Absolutely. I know virtually, remember, it's just so, first time we're actually catching up virtually, but I still vividly remember the first time we met. And that was just so beautiful because if I take you a little back, I received this invite from you and it said leadership in music and learning leadership through music.
Through music.
And I kept thinking to myself, I said, I've attended so many conferences on leadership. I've attended a couple of musical concerts and shows, but I've never really had a session or been to a session that talks about leadership through music. And I said, this one's really going to be interesting. And that's the first time we met at your concert, your event, and it was just so beautiful. And ever since then, obviously, keep following you, keep, attended a couple of your shows as well. And I'm so happy that you could take some time out to be with us on Just Like That.
Well, yes, I do remember our first interaction. I think it was at a conference, and I like HR people like yourself who don't find it mysterious as to what is a violinist going to talk in an HR forum. And a lot of times HR professionals, like a lot of my HR colleagues or associates, they haven't seen the session. They are sometimes they're intrigued, but all the time they're not intrigued. They're quite actually surprised as to what's wrong with the person who referred her to come into our training room, because we don't know what's a violinist going to do with
But that's
HR.
only till they attend your session. Once they do attend, then they see the sync so beautifully, right?
And that's been the point of excitement for me, actually, Sahil. Earlier I used to find it as a challenge. I said, oh God, not another person trying to question why I'm there. But the whole process of breaking that myth after you enter a training room, the whole process of from the concert hall to the training room, and then eventually into boardroom sessions, where I know that at least 50% of them have never seen a session like this, and they have these questions of what is she doing here? I think that whole thing, which was I thought it was a handicap for me, became the biggest point of excitement for me. What is she doing? I love to break the myth. I love to reopen. I love to kind of what I'm not getting the word to uh, you know open up the whole session gradually, and it's like flow of music. It doesn't open up with a PowerPoint or with a particular structure. And then when I see the change in in the people's eyes, and that's when I feel okay, now I think that's my arrival point. And since then I've never been never been nervous, never been upset, never been frustrated with questions like what is she going to do. I think this has become my point of excitement.
Tell me, how did the idea come to say, of course, being a musician, being in a family of musicians, your mom's one, she's been your guru. How did the idea come to say, okay, we always do this at a concert, but from a concert moving to the concert hall, to the training room hall, and then finally to the boardroom, right? How did you go through this entire journey? Where did the idea come?
Actually, I have been learning music along with, my academics. So music is like it was a religion in the family. In fact, I was exposed to music even in my mother's womb, even before I was born, because she was an avid, devoted artist. And she still is. She turned 80 last month and she still plays. And it's like music is like a religion. And so I had no choice. I mean, the violin was something which I didn't go out to pursue myself. I was thrust with it. And I was told
Hmm.
by my mother that no way are you going to keep doing your TV shows. I used to compare, and I used to go and do, no way are you going to go and play tennis all the time. You can go once or twice, but not every day. You will have to play the violin, and or else there is no other option for you. So being a progressive artist herself, she was extremely particular and extremely strict with her own daughter. And that's how mothers are all over the world. And so I started studying music. I resented it. I revolted it. I was hostile against it, because who wants to study as a 12-year-old, 14-year-old about music in the 15th century, 16th century, the different rags in the king's courts? But well, she ensured that I did. And eventually, when I started going deeper into it, I started studying along with it. And then I said, every holiday had to have music as one of the key things. I wanted to explore, I wanted to have fun, but well, I had to do my music studies and then my music exams. But eventually, I don't know when that process of resentment started into engagement, that I realized that there's lots in the world of music, especially a particular paper called Music Therapy. On sound and the effect and the physics of sound interested me. And when I did my MBA later on, I realized that there's a huge need for the impact of a medium like music, the science behind it, how it can make people internalize, make people calm. It scientifically increases our endorphins. And that's when I started using it as a learning and wellness tool. But the whole engagement of doing the workshops, it started in the training room in a very casual fashion. I learned a lot about the medium, which started teaching me lessons of working together, working with differences, listening to each other, being sensitive, being inclusive, ensuring that everyone, we're challenging each other, everyone works with each other, and we get the best out of everyone to create that one whole sound. Well, that's the workshop that you attended later. I think in KPMG,
Right.
a few of them yourself.
Correct. So a lot of who you are today, you definitely owe to your mother.
Not lot. I am because she is.
Wow, that's so beautiful. You are because she is.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yes.
So Sunita, tell us a little bit about it, right? Music, to a layman like me, has just 7 notes. But these 7 notes can just be so different because, like they say, right, where words end, music starts.
I know, being an artist, wish I could compose and write. I'm not very good at compositions. I don't write too much, but there's lots that can be written around music. Well, I believe in doing it. And the proof of the pudding is in eating it, right? So, doing the whole craft and the engagement of the craft. That's why the program Sahab Kriya is together, Kriya, working together, action together. So music is made of 2 elements. One is rhythm, beat. The time, there's a time in the universe, there's a time in our, the sun rotates around the axis exactly 24 hours, the universe, the earth rotates around, and you have 365 days. There is a universal rhythm of the cosmos. And there's a rhythm in music too. If you miss a beat, like you say in business, if you miss a deadline, you have missed the bus. In the same, if you miss a beat, you're off the track. You have to remain in that track, which sometimes people call the rat race, sometimes people call the journey, sometimes people call the career. So you've got to be the rhythm. So there are different kinds of rhythmic cycles, teen tal, rupak tal, 7 beats, 11 beats, 10 beats, 12 beats, 8 beats. And then of course there is melody, the notes, the sur. So there's sur and tal together create the world of music. However, these 2 elements operate on a platform. Having worked in IT for years, I like to use the jargon, the platform. Actually, the platform starts, Suroka. You need jargons, you know how it is. If you don't use the jargons and those words, what does that mean? You have to have someone ask you.
You don't sound intellectual.
Yeah, if someone doesn't ask you what does it mean, which means you don't have much intellect. So the jargon of the platform is the octave of the 7 notes, and the octave is nothing but Sat Suroka Saptak. With music, you need some standing notes, the enablers, the foundations, and I'm going to use my Tanpura a bit here. Ambience change हो जाता है तानपुरा से.
Absolutely.
Sa re ga ma pa da ni sa sa ni da pa ma ga re sa. 7 notes. Each note with a different texture, a different tone, a different place in the octave, a different entity, a different equalizer, a different connector, a different chord is created. So which means music, the 7 notes itself is the biggest lesson of creativity. You know why creativity? Because these 7 notes are the basis of hundreds and thousands and millions and trillions of compositions across the world in different languages, different styles, different genres, different artists, different singers, different musicologists, different instrumentalists, different conductors, different symphonies, create various harmonies out of these 7 notes, whether it's Hollywood, Bollywood, Western, Indian, rock, jazz. Shall I continue? Shall I?
Absolutely. Music to my ears, and I'm sure all the viewers as well. Go for it.
So Saregama Padhanisa are only 7 notes. Mind you, there is nothing beyond these 7 notes, much like our values,
And the same thing for English as well?
Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, ti, la, so, fa, mi, re, do. Same 7 notes, different names and different terms. There is nothing in this world beyond the 7 notes of music. Like love is universal, humanity is universal, music is universal. So what better medium?
Wonderful.
What better medium to encourage? I don't want to say the word teach, because my mother thinks that who are you to teach? PhD students, students of IM, students of TISS, those are the ones I teach nowadays, by the way, without being, but don't sound conceited. And she said, you are not qualified to teach. You haven't done your PhD yourself. I said, Mom, I've got 2 to 3 honorary PhD. She said, you cannot use them, so I can't use them. She doesn't let me use them. So these 7 notes are like the foundation. You in leadership, what do you need? You need your knowledge, the passion chahiye, accountability, discipline, a structure. You need to share that knowledge. You need to have a common vision. You need to work with people. You need to influence. You need to listen. So all the 7, and whether what you see in leadership is the tip of the iceberg, but what lies beneath the success stories, the dynamism, the mergers, the acquisitions are values that certain people had to drive that business, to create the ethos of the business. Same way you see various kinds of musicians, music, but the 7 notes are created thus.
Right.
Bataiye, what are you about to
No,
ask?
no. I was just saying, I said, we've spoken so much about music. Now, like you say, right, let's get into the action. And maybe if we can hear something from you or you play something for us, that'll be fantastic.
So if these notes were given to a classical guru, he would create a rag like this. Rag Balavan in its entirety. These same notes given to a Bollywood music composer. Let's see what he or she could create. जिया टोले हाले हाले क्या ये बोले जानू ना. This was a melodious song, a romantic song. So do cabarets, songs from the street, have 7 notes? Of course it does. So the first lesson of inclusivity, that there is no class or mass in music. Sappa, dari sani da sappa, dari sani da pai re. Kaisi paheli hai, kaisi paheli zindagani. What you see is the visuals. What you hear are the lyrics. What lies beneath are the notes. So this is Bollywood. Even Hollywood has 7 notes. I don't know if you can guess this song. Sa 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 ni sa sa ni sa re ga re sa sa ni sa. It doesn't matter where you studied, what language you speak. The notes of music are the same. Far across the distance and the spaces between us, you've come to say you go on. Sa sa re sa pa ma ga re ga ma ga re sa ni sa ni tha pa. Once more you open the door and I'm here in my heart, and my heart will go on and on. Sari ga re sari pa ga pa da pa ga re effect of sound. These lights, I think, are those remote lights. As the tone increased, some of them got on. Well, but you always, Sahil, tell me that अब वो fast pieces कब बजाएंगे? When will you do crescendo? Because I know, like most of the enablers of business today, which is HR, they're looking at what's the impact going to be, right? And how fast can we move? So you always ask me, and you're one of those guys, you always ask me that when is the fast piece going to start? When is the crescendo happening? So let's look at, these were different kinds of numbers. So let me give you a fast piece with a fast paced song. So whether it's a ghazal, a nazam, a romantic song, a bandish, a Western Indian melody, or an item number. Item numbers are supposed to be low society songs, right? They're not H's, they're LS. You're not supposed to, our children are not supposed to hear the songs, you're not supposed to learn them, you're not supposed to sing them, but doesn't matter. It's the 7 notes. There is no class or mass. Ni sa ga ma pa ni da pa ma pa ga sa ga ma pa ma ga ma ga ri sa ni pa ni sa ga re ni sa. Brag Bhimpalashi can be found in item numbers too. Ni sa ga ma pa ma ga ri sa ni sa 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 ni sa ga ri sa ri ni sa 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 ni sa ga ma ga ri sa ni sa ga ma ga ma pa ma pa ni sa ni da pa ma pa ga ma ga ri sa ni sa ga ri de sa ni sa ga ri sa ni sa ga ma de sa ni sa ga ri sa pa ma pa pa ni sa ni pa pa ma ma pa sa ni pa pa sa ni papa dada papa mama gagare tu cheez badi hai mast mast tu cheez badi hai mast. So I want people not to talk to me about cheez badi mast mast. I want them to say that Sunita came on Sahil's just like that and did Rag Bhimpalashri. Sari ni sa sa gari de tu cheez badi hai mast mast.
Wonderful, wonderful. Sunita, I think you just made my day. It was just so beautiful, so beautiful. Just the manner in which you connected all the dots. A little bit of leadership, a little bit of the journey, taking us through the 7 notes, the lovely high notes that I always enjoy so much. Sunita, can't thank you enough for just coming on just like that and doing such a wonderful gig for us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sahil. Thanks for the invitation and all the very best too, just like that.
Thank you. Take care. Lovely. This was nice.
Yes, and the time also